Well, Chris Popper here in the wellness room with MDI head football coach Mark Shields. And we're taping this on Tuesday, 6 days to the start of preseason, August 14th. The summer's gone by fast.
It has gone by quickly. Yeah. And, you know, it seems like we just got out of school and cleaned out of classrooms, and here we are.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, I mean, last year, a season for the record books. I mean, MDI went to the Northern Maine Championships. They won the Northern Maine Championships, went to the state finals, played a great game against Wells, and you lost a bunch of people, got a lot of people with experience. What are you doing? I mean, the first game of the season, September 1st to Saturday, or September 2nd is Saturday. It's right down in the belly of the beast, down in down in Winslow on a Saturday afternoon. What are you going to do do you just kind of turn the page, or do you kind of acknowledge what we did last year and then we turn the page?
Yeah, I think that's what we do. Acknowledge what we accomplished last year, but make it very clear to our coaching staff, to our players, that the victories that we got last year have little to do with anything that's going to happen this coming season. I mean, you see it even in the pros. Sometimes you'll see a team come off a big year and the so-called Super Bowl hangover, they like to call it, and then the next season they don't come out and play very well. So we'll address that a lot to start the season. I think it is important that we do discuss the season that we had and talk about, what got us there. And the biggest thing was hard work, and we had some great leadership and kids that were totally committed to the program. And, it was just one of those special seasons for us. And, we made history, and that's awesome. It was just a great ride. But first day I will be talking to the kids about, that's not going to win us any football games this year.
If anything, it makes there's a bigger target on your backs.
No doubt about it. So when you win your conference, next thing you know, you are the team to beat week in, week out, right? So, I mean, it has been Winslow for years, and they call it the Winslow week when teams play Winslow and gearing up for them to try to knock them off. And now all of a sudden, we win the conference. We were number one. We went to states. So every team's going to try to knock us off. And it doesn't get much easier. Week one, we're headed right to Winslow and finishing out, obviously the championship against them and knocking them off. They've had the whole offseason to kind of think about that, and I'm sure they've worked extremely hard down in Winslow, and they'd love to beat us. We've never won on that field before, Poulin Field down in Winslow in school history, and we've only beaten Winslow twice in school history. So. So it is really important for us to refocus, and I think it's also really important for us not to think so much about, we won Northern Maine's last year, that's a big goal for us this year, try to get the states. You just can't do that. So our goal will be to get better every day, starting with our scrimmage versus Hampden, which was the 21st. And then we have our scrimmage versus Ellsworth the following Friday, and then we start gearing up for Winslow week one.
You're going to go down to Schoodic again this year. Last year you went down there. I was kind of wondering if you were going to do that again, and then saw that Mark Arnold had posted that you are going down to Schoodic. Tell us why you thought that was so important last year and what you're hoping to do this year down in Schoodic.
Yep, so I am totally convinced, and the coaching staff is convinced, that really did kick off our season for us. It was instrumental as far as building team unity with our kids. There's always going to be a group of kids that are super close going into the season, and then there's some new kids coming in.
Right.
And I think going down there for an overnight, we spent so much time together and camaraderie and everything that goes along with that we decided, let's do that again this year. I mean, hey, it worked last year. We had a great season. Why not replicate that? So, yeah, we're going to go down there. the first Friday, so we start the 14th. That Friday, we'll head down for our overnight. We'll do some activities. Friday night, we practice a little bit Friday afternoon, and then that evening, we end up, last year, we surprised them with a team kickball game, which they absolutely loved. And then, of course, we rented their auditorium down there. We watched inspirational films on football. We also show them a concussion film and talk about, you know, the risks of concussions and how we want to treat them and that sort of stuff. The next day, we get up, have a big breakfast, we have a short practice, and then we'll be back about midday the following Saturday. But for us, I just thought it was tremendous as far as, you know, building that team unity right out of the gates, and it was just a blast. I had such a great time with the kids, and I know they had a great time. And we talked to the kids, and is this something you want to do? And they were all
I mean, it costs. There's a lot of money involved in this.
Yep. So we've been fortunate that we've had an anonymous donor help pay for this the last couple of years. But we just feel like, you know, it's something that for us last season built that team unity, and we're hoping that will happen again this year.
A lot of changes in Class C. I mean, first of all, the Big Ten's now become the Big 11.
Right.
Let's see, Foxcroft Academy has dropped down.
Right.
Madison has dropped down to D. There's some Madomic Valley's come up, MCI's come up.
Yep.
I know I'm missing one other.
Nokomis came up.
Nokomis has come up.
Yep.
And now there's also crossover games, whereas things.
Right.
So I mean, you look at the season the schedule that you have this year. I mean, there's some monster teams that you're playing. Week 1 is Winslow. You've got MCI, which is the Class D state champion.
Right.
You've got Bucksport, who are a perennial Class D contender.
Yep.
Waterville, who are not going to be the doormats of this, and Levitt, who, I mean, I haven't heard a lot about Levitt, but Levitt was a top contending team in years past, and
Yep.
there aren't any off weeks. I mean, they've kind of, with this whole crossover, they've tried to make sure that teams are playing competitive, so there aren't any running time.
Right.
Supposedly.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Since I've been head coach, took over in 2003, I believe this could possibly be the toughest schedule MDI's seen since I've been head coach in my tenure. And you're right. I mean, it's not going to be a week where you can say, well, we can pencil in a win here and gear down early. That's not going to happen.
No.
You think about a program like Herman. Herman, they are up and coming. They had 100 kids in their youth program. They had great numbers, I guess, this summer for the 7-on-7 league, working real hard up there. I mean, it's just some programs out there that are getting better.
Nokomis, a scary team. And I mean, a couple of years ago, they gave the MDI everything that they could handle and almost beat them. Well, they did beat them one year.
They beat us one year. They're a team that it seems like I don't know if there's these farm boys down there, I don't know, but they seem like they always have these huge linemen and these strong, hard running backs down there.
Yeah.
They have a new coach. He came from Lawrence High School. A lot of tradition, know how to win football games. Herman has a new coach. I talked to him last Sunday. He's excited.
Bapst is going to be, with Hagee Pratt going there.
Yep.
Luckily Bapst isn't on this year's schedule.
Mm-hmm.
But this every week they're going to be tough games, not only for MDI but for everybody else.
Sure. And now you have the new heel point system.
Right.
I'm not a basketball guy, but I know that's what they've used for basketball for years. The good news is, I believe with heel point system, if you do play those tougher teams and you can get a W, then you can pick up some extra points that way. But time will tell, and
it's going to make it easier to differentiate, and you're not going to have to go out into so many tie-breaking scenarios as potentially Class C has had to in the past years.
Right. Definitely. So, I mean, every year you just never know the outcome. as far as when you're getting to the end of the season. I mean, last year we went down to Winslow. I think it was week 3. We were 2-0, and they put it to us bad, you know. And for us, maybe it was a good thing, maybe not. I don't know. Bill Belichick claims that no loss is a good loss, but for us, I think it was a wake-up call. And then after that, we sort of got it going and finished out the season with a lot of wins. So it's going to be fun. It really is. It's always exciting. This time of year, I start to get nervous, get the butterflies, and get excited to get out there and get started. We're not exactly sure what our numbers are going to look like again. I think it's going to be very similar to last year. I think we'll be right around 30, maybe low 30s. We'll see. We draw equipment on Saturday, and then I'll get a better feel for that. But, hey, when you have low numbers, it only takes a couple of injuries, and you're in trouble. So we'll see, but we are cautiously optimistic. We do believe that we can put a quality football team on the field. And, you know, we're hoping that we can win some football games.
You've got a good, solid core returning. You've got John Phelps as quarterback. Andrew Phelps, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, Andrew Phelps, sorry. Andrew Phelps is quarterback. Croy Albee coming back from a knee injury.
Right.
You've got a good line crew.
Yep.
It's going to be an interesting year.
Yeah. I think the biggest question marks for us are going to be on the defensive side of the ball. You're right. Offensively, pretty much our entire offensive line came back. We lost the quality back in Chris Farnsworth. I think we have some other guys that can step in that position and do a nice job. And you're right. We have an experienced quarterback. We have Colby Lee. We have Croy Albee. I mean, we have some explosive people with a strong offensive line up front. So
you've got a very quick backfield. I mean,
we do.
You know, it's if you have that line that's able to create a hole, you've got the speed with the running backs to really break through.
Yep, definitely. And you know, you look at kids that were losing, and we lost a great senior class.
Absolutely.
You know, you think about a guy like Graham Good. I'm sorry, you're not going to replace Graham Good. The intensity, he was a gym rat, super strong kid, great leader, that sort of stuff. Chris Farnsworth just played in the Lobster Bowl. He just had a tremendous season, and I could go on and on about that senior class. There's some great kids. And some of these younger kids are going to have to step in those positions and be successful if we want to be successful as a team. So there's some gaps, definitely more on the defensive side, but some on the offensive side. And you never know. There could be a kid emerge through preseason. They're like, whoa, we got to get this kid on the field. And there's always some pleasant surprises, which is really fun. Some kid comes out, maybe they work super hard in the offseason, and it's like, whoa, force our hand to get you on the field. So, you know, I think about a guy like Gus Reeves that showed up last year. He played when he was in the Acadian Football League. He was a basketball player predominantly, and then he shows up drawing equipment that Saturday and had a great year for us. Yeah. So I'm hoping maybe a kid like that might emerge too. So we'll see.
What about your coaching staff? Everybody returning? Or?
Yep, we've been super consistent the last few years. You know, obviously, you know, me as head coach, been here a long time. Mark Arnold's been with me for quite some time. Tony DeMiro, same thing. And Chris McGuire, I think he's going into his 3rd season, maybe even 4th.
He's a new one, really.
Yeah, he's a newbie.
But he's been
here a while.
3 or 4 years. Yeah.
Yep. And then Ian Braun is going to give us all the time that he can, and it sounds like he might be able to give us even more time this year. So really excited about my staff. I am so fortunate, the guys that I have, totally committed to the kids, to the program, super knowledgeable. And, you know, like I said last year, the head coach either gets too much credit or too much blame, and I definitely know I got way too much credit last year because those guys, day in, day out, the day-to-day stuff, in the trenches every day with the kids, they were getting it done for us, and they were a big part of our success.
And one of the, certainly a key to the success was the crowds that were here last year, and the pep band as well.
Yeah.
And the cheerleaders. I mean, the cheerleaders go on the road with you.
Yep.
They go into enemy territory.
Yeah.
They're the team's best friends on the road. But there were great crowds, both home and away, following MDI last year.
Definitely. We had, a core of people in this school and community that they were just religious getting to football games. The band, Michael Remy, I mean, most games, I think they were there through the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You know, used to be, and I understand, it's cold, kids want to get home. You know, they play through the first half, and then they, you know, just want to either go in the stands and be fans, or they just want to get out of there because it's cold. But
Right.
Michael had them stick around, and that's huge. I mean, the band, there's something about hearing that band for a high school football game.
It's amazing.
That gets people excited about football. So it's, yeah, we've been very fortunate with our fan base, and hopefully it continues this coming season.
We're going to do coaches shows like we have in the past on Mondays and Thursdays, so we'll have those on the website. The camera's yours. What do you want to tell the island and the Trojan fans around the world? Because there are. I mean, we can't let Reg down.
I know. Well, once again, like I always say, thank you for your continued support. It's just been amazing through my tenure. Even some of the years that maybe we weren't at the top of the heap, but our fans were there for us. And, you know, you were there for the state championship game. And, yeah, it didn't go as we planned, but we stepped on that field down in Fitzpatrick Stadium in Portland, and it was jam-packed.
Oh, yeah.
And those people were there for us. And even after we did not play that well that day, you know, we raised that you know, our plaque for runner-up for states, and we had a great applause from our crowd, and we knew they were proud of us. So if you can come out and see some of our games, I know people are busy. I know it gets cold sometimes, but the more people that can come out, the better it is for us, because the kids really do feel that from our fan base, and they get really excited about that. So thank you once again, and let's keep this thing rolling.
And Class C state championship will be a little closer to home this year. It's up at UMaine.
Up at UMaine. Well, we won't look that far ahead.
No,
Thanks for the pressure, Chris. But yeah, that would be something if we could actually get there again. But long way to go.
Yeah. Well, week 1, September 2nd, down in Winslow, Saturday afternoon. We'll have all the games, of course, on the WDEA Internet Radio, and when they don't conflict with the Red Sox, we'll have them on air. All right, Coach. Thanks very much.
Sounds great. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks for watching this video. Check out all the other videos we have on the WDEA YouTube channel.